Let's go! The Chicago Bears signed the top center on the market, Drew Dalman, to a 3-year contract worth $42 million with $28 million guaranteed. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears news update video, which I'll be doing throughout of all free agency and the NFL draft period as well. And Twitter is down today, the worst possible time to be down. Twitter's been down the entire day, so it's been really tough to get Bears news, get NFL news, for me to tweet anything because it keeps on crashing. So I got this news from the ESPN app, and I also have TV on in the background. I got NFL Network up. It feels like it's 2010 again. I'm getting news the old-fashioned way, so that kind of sucks. But putting that aside, guys, what a signing by Ryan Poles. Okay, this was the top guy I wanted in free agency because the center spot has been a big, massive position of weakness for the Bears for such a long time. Okay, ever since Cody Whitehair declined near the second half of his career, we have not had a good center in Chicago. We've had guys like Sam Mustipher. He was complete ass. We've had other guys like Coleman Shelton who, Coleman Shelton had a few good games, but besides for those games, he was also very inconsistent, not good enough. So the Bears have just struggled massively to find a good long-term center for their young quarterback, and they found it in Drew Dalman. Yes, they paid a lot of money. They paid $14 million per year, which for a center is pretty pricey, but it's only $28 million guaranteed. So technically you could get out of this in 2 years if you wanted to. And guys, good players cost good money, okay? You were not going to get a good player for cheap for like a discount because that's not how free agency works. Everybody gets paid a lot of money, especially with the salary cap going up and up and up every single year. If you look at the Chiefs, they paid former 49ers tackle Jalen Moore $15 million per year just a couple minutes ago because they're that desperate for a good left tackle. And Jalen Moore has barely played any games in the NFL besides for last year, right? So teams get desperate in free agency. I think this is actually a pretty fair contract for Drew Dalman with how good he has been recently for the Falcons and how he's ascending as well. He's pretty young, guys. He's only, let me get his age right now, but he's only 26 years old, so still has a good career in front of him. I mean, centers can play well into their 30s. Right now, he's only on a 3-year contract, so let me not get too ahead of myself, but if he does well on this contract, he could be the Bears' long-term center that they have been really desperately trying to find for a long time, but have struggled to. And I'm glad that Ryan Poles did not band-aid it with the patchwork solution yet again. Like, I'm glad he didn't go after another Ryan Bates type of player or Coleman Shelton type of player or draft one in the 6th round like he did with Doug Kramer. It's about time to go after the premium options for your young quarterback on the interior of the offensive line, and the Bears have done it now with multiple acquisitions this offseason. Okay, the Bears' interior offensive line was probably the worst in football entering free agency. We had Tevin Jenkins as a free agent. We had Coleman Shelton becoming a free agent. We had nobody really at right guard. Nate Davis got cut last season, so we really had nobody on the interior of the offensive line. And to acquire Jonah Jackson, Joe Thuney, and Drew Dalman in a matter of a week is just fantastic for Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears offense. Ben Johnson talked about how important it was going to be to address the interior offensive line, kind of like the Panthers did last season. The Panthers acquired multiple great players on the interior of their offensive line, which helped Bryce Young kind of break out in the second half of that season. I think something similar is going to be happening to Caleb Williams because now he will actually have some trust in the interior protection. He can actually step up in the pocket now, hopefully, because he's getting better interior pass protection. And also in terms of run blocking, all the guys we got, Jackson, Thuney, and Dalman, they're pretty decent, not just decent, but pretty great run blockers too, guys. So with how bad the Bears' run game was last year, these interior additions are going to help out the run game a lot as well. And, as we saw with Ben Johnson's offense in Detroit, they run the football a lot. They ran it a good amount last season, the last couple seasons. So, the mix of the run and the passing game is going to be pretty important. So getting a premium center in Drew Dalman, I just think was such a no-brainer for the Chicago Bears, but usually they don't make the no-brainer moves, which the fan base is begging them to make. But this year, guys, they're doing all of it, okay? They hired Ben Johnson. They're signing Drew Dalman. They acquired Joe Thuney. Like, they're doing so many good things. But let me talk more about what exactly Drew Dalman is going to be bringing to the Chicago Bears. So Drew Dalman is 6'3". He weighs about 300 pounds. If you look at his athletic testing back in 2021, he was one of the most athletic centers to ever come out in NFL history. You can see really good 40 time, really good agility testing, really good explosion testing. So in terms of his athleticism, how he can move laterally up and down the field, it is elite. Okay, he's one of the most athletic centers in all of football, which really fits Ryan Poles' philosophy of acquiring those athletic offensive linemen that you can mold into being even better. Now, the Bears have had really bad O-line coaching in the past, but adding Dan Rushar hopefully is going to help that. I mean, he's coached up a lot of great offensive linemen in his past time coaching. So, working with a guy in Drew Dalman that has these athletic gifts, this athletic profile, is going to be very exciting. So looking at his career so far in the NFL, he did not start his rookie year. He was a backup center. He did get some playing time though as a backup, but then 2022 he was named the starter, started every single game. 2023 he started 14 games, and then last year he dealt with a couple injuries, some ankle injuries, but still played about half the season. He started the first 3 games, then got injured, then he came back for the final 5 games of the year and played really well when he got back. So clearly the ankle injury did not affect him long term. He seems like he's fully healthy now, just dealt with a few injuries in the middle of that season. But yeah, had some decent experience during his rookie contract. And if you look at his PFF grade, so last season was a really good season for him in the playing time that he did get. Overall, really solid grade, 78.8 is basically almost elite. Pass blocking, pretty solid. Run blocking, elite. Okay, one of the best run blockers in all of football. If you look at the prior year, struggled a bit in terms of pass blocking, but a dominant run blocker again, which brought his overall grade up pretty high. And then 2022, pretty good run blocker and, still struggling a little bit in pass protection. Overall grade pretty solid. And then if you look at his rookie year, dominant run blocker, as you guys can see. Pass blocking had some struggles, and then overall really, really solid grade. So I think some Bears fans, looking at these may worry that he's not been a great pass protector. And that was true early on in his career. He had to really grow and develop in that aspect, but he got better and better every single season. And he's still ascending, guys. Like last year was his best season as a pass protector. And I see no reason why he's not going to get better and better. He's only 26 years old. He's going to be working with a really good offensive line coach in Dan Rushar. And most importantly, he's going to be playing next to some premium guards, especially Joe Thuney. Okay, Joe Thuney is an elite guard. So playing next to him, obviously, is going to make his job a lot easier. And Jonah Jackson, if he can get back to his form as well, that's another pretty solid guard he's playing next to. So he's not going to have to carry the load as a pass protector on his own. He has other guys helping him out on the double teams, on picking up stunts. And, he's a pretty smart player, Drew Dalman is. I mean, he's going to call out the protections. And having a veteran center is going to be so crucial for your young quarterback, Caleb Williams. I cannot tell you how much I hated the fact that both Mitch Trubisky and Justin Fields had to deal with bad center play while they were developing. It makes it impossible to grow as a quarterback when you're having to worry about the snap being off like Justin Fields often did, when you're having to worry about the center getting absolutely blown up, getting thrown backwards at you. You have to worry about getting injured if you even step up in the pocket. Like, it wasn't a good situation for last couple quarterbacks in terms of the center spot. And even Caleb had to deal with some pretty bad center play early on in his rookie season. I mean, Coleman Shelton had struggles. Ryan Bates also wasn't that good when he was in there. So that's why I so badly wanted the Bears to go after a long-term premium option at center this free agency. And Drew Dalman really was the only one available. We could have gone after Ryan Kelly, but he's getting so old. He would have only came here on a 1-year contract. You'd have to worry about him getting injured too with his old age. But Drew Dalman is only 26 years old. He's going to be in the prime of his NFL career. And this is the best age to pay free agents, guys, at age 25, 26, because they still have 3-4 years of ascending. Okay, they're not at their best yet, so you could get extra value than what you paid for. $14 million per year for a center is pretty pricey, but it's still not, the highest paid center in the NFL, right? That's Creed Humphrey, I believe, and the cap is going to keep on going up and up and up. So this could still be a pretty decent value contract for the Chicago Bears if Drew Dalman does turn into a premium level center. So far, he's been a pretty good center. I would say really good last year. He was really good, but not elite quite yet. But I think he could be elite with the proper coaching and with, 2 really good guards playing next to him. Let me know what you guys think about this signing down below in the comments. I'm sure every Bears fan is super happy because it's how this was the #1 free agent most Bears fans wanted. Khalil Mack was the other, and unfortunately, he chose to go back to Los Angeles. So that really sucks. It would have been so nice to get a return of the Mack edit up on my YouTube page. I actually already made the video because I thought he may be coming back and I wanted to post it ASAP, but unfortunately, he went back to LA, so I can't ever post that video, which really sucks. But There's still a lot of options out there for the Bears in free agency in terms of the defensive end spot. You could trade for Trey Hendrickson, maybe you could sign a Chase Young, a Josh Sweat, whoever. So still a lot of moves to be made, but this was a banger of a first signing by Ryan Poles. I'm so happy he's finally making the obvious, easy moves on the offensive line because I've been begging him to find a good center here in Chicago for the past 3 seasons. It seems like he's finally done it now with Drew Dalman. So leave your comments down below, guys. As always, bear down.